Sally Atwater, and I'm running for State Superintendent for Education, and I'm going to tell you why. I am a classroom teacher. 2 months ago, I was teaching a special needs class. And no, I am not for Common Core, because I know that one set of standards does not fit all students, especially the special needs population. I come from a family of educators. My brother, 2 of my daughters, and my mother, she worked for the Union County schools for over 49 years, and I grew up in Union. She said, be a teacher. I went to Winthrop. I majored in elementary and special ed. I taught in Rock Hill during the day. I went to Winthrop at night, and I got my master's. It was tough. I married my love of my life, Lee Atwater, and we went to Washington, D.C., where I worked in the United States Department of Education, the special ed programs. But I gave it up to volunteer for a great conservative cause. That was the re-election of President Ronald Reagan. You know Lee's story. He was the deputy campaign manager for Reagan, so I did it to really see him too. And then he orchestrated the presidency for George W. Bush. Let me tell you my story though. I got a call that I never wanted to get. He said, come to the hospital, Sally. I went down there and we both learned that he had a malignant brain tumor and would live perhaps a year. He did die the next year, and I raised our 3 little girls as a single parent. My youngest was 11 months old at the time. My middle was 5 years, and my oldest was 10 years old. And ladies and gentlemen, I learned the value of faith, family, and friends. In 2001, President George W. Bush asked me to serve as his executive director of the President's Committee for People with Intellectual Disabilities. I did that for 8 years. This is a committee very similar to the State Board of Education, but it was my responsibility to bring consensus to this group, and I did. I had 21 citizen members and 13 ex officio members. Then I had the privilege of working in the House of Representatives, the Committee on Education and Workforce, where I worked with our legislators, including Congressman Joe Wilson, on hearings and their bills. And let me tell you what I saw. Washington was a mess, and I decided to come home to South Carolina and home to teaching, because I knew a teacher had the greatest impact upon the life of a child's education, except for the parent. I was teaching in Colleton County when I read Governor Nikki Haley's education reform initiatives. It was dynamic. I knew I could support it 100%. She says South Carolina needs 4 things. We need a fairer education funding formula. All classes are not the same, and we need to elevate all the classes. We need reading coaches. Reading is critical to the success of a child in school. Technology, we need the latest technology. I had to fight 6 months to get 1 computer for my students. And of course, more education options for South Carolina families. Competition is a good thing. I want to be your superintendent, and I want to help Governor Haley with her education reform initiatives. But let me share my vision with you, and I organize it by the ABCs. A, accountability. A teacher is accountable for what is learned or not learned in the classroom every day. We need to get more money spent that are spent down into the classrooms, not at the Department of Education and not at the local school district administrations. B, better outcomes for education. You need a superintendent who can foster new ideas and have better communication. from the State Department of Education to the classrooms of South Carolina, and I want to be that superintendent.
Thank you, Sally. We appreciate that.